they followed the angel, saying, Babylon is fallen. Is fallen, that great city, because she made all nations drink the wine of the wrath of her fornication. And the smoke of their torment ascends forever and ever. Then I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on the Mount Zion, saying with a loud voice, Fear God, give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment is come.
Everybody, it's Captain Mike M. Welcome to episode 172 of the Gamers in Beta podcast. We are in full swing of the holiday releases, and boy, am I jealous of all the people playing Gears 4 Ultimate Edition, and even those sneaky bastards that are playing Mafia 3 already.
And I'm Sean, or Quicksilver3355, and this is taking forever. Time to stop pissing around and get this big guy back into action. Whoa, that water's cold.
Hi, I'm Nick. You can find me at GamesontheMind on Twitter. PS VR, you are my bitch lover.
Welcome to the show again, Nick. It's great to talk to you as always. It's been a little bit since you've been on. What's been going on?
Oh, nothing much. Just kind of continuing doing the thing on Twitch, streaming all the time. Just try to stream every night as much as I can.
That consistency is key, right?
Consistency is key. Yeah, I'd gone through a drought for a while where I just kind of had buzzed around a certain view count and not really gaining too many followers. And then this month I decided to do, something original that not anybody else does on Twitch during the month of October, and that's stream all scary games.
Ooh, you're the guy.
Because nobody else does that. But I've been streaming all scary stuff, starting with Until Dawn, and now I'm going through Alien Isolation, which I've never played. So it's like a blind playthrough. And the last couple nights, last 3 or 4 nights, I've had a pretty awesome turnout, viewers in the double digits, and gained a bunch of new viewers. So it's been really cool.
Yeah, we've experienced the same thing here with the podcast. Summertime is it is what it is, right? People go on vacations. They sort of tune out video games. Hey, let's go outside and show off the summer bod. Let's do things with the family, what have you. So we noticed definitely a dip, I wouldn't say dip, but maybe just like you said, like an even plateau during the summer. Uh-huh. And now that the, gaming is back in full swing and it's starting to be cold out again, at least here in the Northeast, numbers way back up, right? The engagement level, people listening and things like that. So I think that's probably the natural ebb and flow of streamers and podcasters. Anything else going on with the stream? I saw a tease that you put out there, I think it was today or yesterday. Is it too early to talk about that? You're going to release something later in the week?
Oh, no, I've been in contact with some professional people about designing some artwork, logo, and things like that. So probably just going to get a little bit more of a professional look to my logo and to my panels and my, start screen, end screen, all that kind of stuff. Just kind of try to do some real professional branding.
Twitch famous. All right.
I like the other day, and I apologize that I'm not on as much as I used to be, but I do try to peek my head in at least once a week, even if we don't talk. And I think there was one day that you were on and you had to step away for a second and you put up that image I can't remember exactly what it was, but I thought that was pretty cool. You didn't have to necessarily turn the stream off. I'm sure you just did it in OBS or XSplit or something and said, hey, instead of show the stream, show this image.
Oh, yeah. My will return in a moment screen, the Dave Chappelle gif where he's exploding off the toilet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. Before we get started, the other guys, Corey, Joe, and Jay can't make it tonight. Jay was away in the mountains of Maine, vacationing with his wife and friends. So I think he's actually at home tonight, but he is recovering from a weekend of camping and some long drives. So I told him, don't worry about it. Take the night off and spend it with your wife. And Joe and his wife are headed out for a punk rock show tonight, so he couldn't make it. And if I think correctly, either Corey's driving home from Maine or he's nursing a hangover. Probably both, I think, from the sounds of it. So those guys were doing fun stuff this weekend. So you have me and Sean, and we thank Nick for joining along. Sean, what's new with you? Anything? Yeah, I know you're getting excited to get your new PC rig in this week.
Yeah, I'm really, it comes in tomorrow. As soon as I get home from work, it should be coming to my house. So I can't wait to finally be able to be professional with all this stuff. I've got soundproofing coming in. I'm going to be setting up one of my rooms to be able to podcast like a real podcaster.
So I don't want to bust your bubble at all, but tomorrow's a holiday. They still making deliveries tomorrow?
According to the UPS thing, they're coming tomorrow.
Okay, I know it's not a federal holiday or anything like that. Certainly, a lot of businesses in my area, have to work. But I know the kids are out of school and things like that. Do you have to work tomorrow, Nick?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you don't get it off.
No.
All right. Well, thanks for joining, guys. Let's dive into some of the news, some of the big ticket items here right off the top. We mentioned a few weeks ago, Sean, that mods would not be coming to PlayStation from Bethesda.
And miraculously, now they are.
Yeah, we spent some time speculating. Was it a money thing? Was it they didn't want to police, the images that were going to be uploaded? And by the sounds of this news, maybe it's because they just didn't want to police it, right? So
yeah, that's what it sounds like.
The mods are coming, but there is a sort of a gotcha there that you will not be able to upload your own images. You'll only be able to mod in-game assets. Now, as someone, Sean, who does a lot of, you don't do the modding yourself, but you use the mods, is that a negative that you're not going to be able to use, images that have been uploaded, that you're only going to be used in-game assets?
Well, I mean, in the instance that I have, you saw the movie. Did you ever see Pacific Rim?
Yes.
Okay, do you know the Gypsy Danger? The I forget what the heck they called it, but that robot type thing. I have that armor in Fallout. Stuff like that you won't be able to get because obviously that would mean bringing in something outside of the Fallout universe. So, I mean, they're not going to be able to get some of the mods, some of the good mods. There's a lot of really top quality mods out there that, all use outside influences for for a lot of their stuff. So, but I mean, they're getting mods. So, I mean, I guess,
So maybe it's baby steps. I mean, it sounds like mods are also coming to Farming Simulator 17 when that releases.
Yep.
So maybe you got to crawl before you can walk before you can run.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that maybe eventually they'll see it's not that big of a deal and nobody's creating giant penises out of whatever they think they're going to do that with. I will tell you, though, there is in Skyrim and in Fallout, there are nude mods. Don't ask me why. I think it's the weirdest thing in the world. I don't use any of those, but that could be another issue. They're maybe worried about kids, getting their hands on some of these mods and installing them, and stuff like that. But I think it's a good step forward. I mean, hey, they're getting mods, so that's a good thing.
Now, Nick, are you big into Skyrim or Fallout at all?
I was huge into Skyrim when it originally launched back on PC and Xbox and PlayStation 3 years ago. I haven't touched it recently, but I played a little bit of Fallout 4. I really just couldn't get into Fallout 4 at all. I loved 3, but I couldn't get into 4. But as far as the mods things go, I mean, I'm wondering if I've always wondered when they announced that they were canceling it is, Sony's thinking, why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free? kind of option here. Maybe they're thinking this would hurt their ability to tack some things on to these games in the long run. Down the way, as opposed to, maybe people won't buy the add-ons that we already have available if they can just go out and have an infinite, amount of add-ons available for free from the community.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it at length, and I definitely think there's something to that. Specifically, you always got to follow the money trail when things don't work out or things do work out. Why did this happen? Why did this not happen? And more often than not, it's because of money. It
could be the case where obviously PlayStation right now is the more appealing of the two systems. So Microsoft is going to do whatever they can to make something look more appealing on the Xbox. So they may have had the same concerns as Sony did up front, but they thought, oh, well, if Sony's not going to do this, then, we'll do it.
Right. Let's be a differentiator. And if there's a fallout from that, or if there's something, that we have to do more behind the scenes, we'll bite the bullet to make that happen, just so we offer something different than PlayStation does. Yep, that totally makes sense. Personally, I'm not a huge mod guy, like I've mentioned on the show before, so it's not really a big thing for me. But certainly I feel like I'm in the minority in that aspect. That a lot of people do like to tinker, whether that's using other people's mods or creating their own. So happy that it's going to all work out for people. Mostly, I'm sure there's some faction of people out there that are still upset though. But oh well, can't please them all. And with that note, we'll segue into PlayStation VR. Nick, at the top there, you mentioned some PlayStation VR. Are you going to be an adopter of this?
I'm like going through split personalities this week. I'm being torn in two different directions. It's like every time I read about it, I get, just completely mixed messages from every site I go to, from every person I see a tweet from online, just back and forth. Oh, it's the most comfortable headset. They've done a marvelous job tech-wise. The games are, some of them are mediocre. Some of them are really great experiences, but it's a very positive start and there'll be great things to come. And then other people are like, no, hold off, wait until it gets better. But I'm afraid I don't want this to become one of those things that becomes like, I'm searching like 2 weeks before Christmas, trying to hunt this thing down and can't find it anywhere. I don't want it to become one of those. So I'm pretty sure if I stumble across one, Wednesday or Thursday, I'll probably end up getting it.
So I just sold my Oculus yesterday. And the only reason I sold it is because I have a okay size office, but I do not have a large desk. And the way I have my PC set up is it's underneath my desk. It's not on the desk. And you have to use, the Oculus requires, trying to remember now, it was at least 2 USB, maybe 3. And then the headset also had to plug into your GPU, HDMI. So I would always have to leave it out because I don't want to constantly be going underneath my desk anytime I use it to connect everything.
Right.
So for me, it came down to 90% a space issue. Like, all right, I need to do some purging in my office. I need to rearrange some stuff. So I'm not going to get to that, a lot of that purging and rearranging right away. So it's just going to sit on a shelf. Let me sell it, get some money back in, and then once I get a new setup or if I get a new PC, I can reevaluate where I'm at with the VR. Now, I tried it and used it definitely and was very impressed with it. The setup and everything like that was great. I was not turned off with the experience. It was just the maintenance of it, keeping it around, that I knew was not going to be ideal in my present setup.
Right.
Now, the same thing would be said for PSVR. It comes with the additional, what do they call it, like the processing box or something like that. And it seems to have a fair amount of wires and things like that. Is that a concern for you at all or no?
No. I actually, the way I have my setup here at the house, I've actually got some rolling carts that are under my desk that house like my PlayStation 4 and my Xbox One. And I've got plenty of room with the PlayStation. I can just hook everything up. And when I'm not using the headset, I can just, set it on top of the PlayStation 4. It'll be totally out of the way.
Nice.
So
yeah, I just bought an end table from, you know, what I don't want to give them a plug, but whatever. I bought it from Wayfair.com, just like, you know, $150 end table there that I can offload some of my consoles and headsets onto, so I can make more room on my desk. So that's going to be my first act of sort of getting my office back in shape.
It's been kind of nice for me because we had this study room that I kind of converted into just kind of my studio where I stream. So honestly, nobody really comes in here besides me. The doors stay shut, you know,
Right.
90% of the time during the day unless I'm in here. So as far as like spacing concerns or setting up equipment in here, I'm kind of free to do whatever I want.
Yep. I could do the same thing too. I just would require a bigger desk and things like that. And I'm not sure if that's possible right now, because it seems like bigger desks have different configurations. I got different windows. You know, I got windows in my office that are in, you know, certain places. It would take some engineering to get it all done. But anyways, getting back to PlayStation VR, you are correct. The reviews are all over the place. If you look at Eurogamer, in their opening paragraph, they say the end result is a masterpiece of hardware design with nips and tucks in mostly the right places and backed by a wide range of software that effortlessly propels Sony onto level footing with established players in the VR field. Is PlayStation VR perfect? No, but it works. So that seems to be like the high-end review.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's really glorifying it. And then if you went over to someone like GameSpot, where they didn't trash it, the guy reviewing it pretty much said that every game made him sick, and especially the ones that didn't have sort of that, like, you know, the camera moves when you move type deal. So he said
Right.
a lot of the games with the controllers made him sick. But that's always a personal preference thing. I can go on a whale watching thing with my wife, and she's at the front of the boat, like Captain Ahab, and, you know, I'm down in the gully, you know, puking my, you know, guts out. So I never really, when the nausea thing comes up, it's always really differs against, you know, people's.
I was reading an article that was talking about they do some kind of trick refresh on the PlayStation VR that actually makes it appear like it's running at 120 frames a second,
Right. Yep.
to alleviate the motion sickness and make the experience a lot smoother. And apparently that supposedly works very well. You know, I obviously I haven't tried it. I haven't used it yet. I am glad to hear that most articles I've read, they've said that for people that wear glasses, it is the most comfortable out of all the VR headsets.
Yes.
So that's a huge kind of deal for me to go, oh man, that makes it even more, you know, appealing. If I can do VR and do it in the you know, best fitting, most comfortable headset as well. So
That, you know, I said the Oculus, you know, 90% of the reason I got rid of it was because of my office space, but the other, you know, percentages do have to come down somewhat to wearing glasses. It's a very snug fit on your face with the Oculus. And it certainly is a pain in the ass if you wear glasses like you do and I do. So that was certainly some sort of factor in my decision. But correct, these are supposed to be very comfortable on all of them. And they have some sort of, you know, way they do it that they take all the pressure off your face. And it's more in like maybe the back of your head or neck and things like that. But get back to what you were just talking about with the swap, the 120 frames per second. That's called asynchronous time warp. And that's actually something they're going to be rolling out to the Oculus as well. Oculus just recently announced this at Oculus 3, that they're going to be using this. And this is actually going to drive down how powerful your PC needs to be now. You no longer need to go out and get, you know, a top-end PC to run Oculus Rift. Once they roll out this asynchronous time warp, you're going to be able to use lower-end PCs to play the Rift, which I'm sure PlayStation wasn't too happy about to hear.
I'm excited. I'm excited. You know, I think it's new tech. I'm a new tech guy.
Right.
I want to try it. I'm excited too because I mean, even watching videos of people using like the Vive or the Oculus or, you know, or even the PlayStation VR. I'm just watching videos of some people walking away just going, oh man, that was amazing. You know, I think I watched a video on YouTube one time of of a YouTuber letting his dad use Oculus for a VR. It was like just basically like a space shuttle launch where it shoots you up in outer space. You get to look around and stuff. I mean, the guy was crying. The dad was. It was like such a powerful experience for the dad. He had like tears running down his face. He's like, "This is amazing. You know, this is like a childhood dream." So, I mean, I don't know if it'll be that powerful for me, but I hope so, because that's. I mean, being a big gamer and being a gamer since I was a kid, who didn't dream about being like totally immersed into the game itself? That's the ultimate goal, I think, for all gamers. Especially the hardcore guys. They want to, we want to be jacked in like in the Matrix, plug into my brain and put me in the game, so.
And if anybody's been following you along either at Games on the Mind or LuckyStiffLive, they know that you're a huge Batman guy. And
yeah. Yes.
So let's be honest here, Nick. Is the part of the reason you want to get PlayStation VR, is it because of Batman VR?
Totally. Yeah, totally. When that was announced, was that E3, I think?
Right.
That they showed the small tidbit on it where he's putting the cowl on. Oh yeah, totally. That's a day one. So I will definitely, if I do buy one, I will be walking out the store with that game for sure.
So I think it's going to be exclusive to PlayStation VR for about a year, I think. I heard that. Besides Batman VR, are there any other titles that sort of grabbed your interest?
I've heard, obviously the VR games have some limitations as far as movement and stuff. So I heard, even though it's kind of like the next evolution of a rail shooter, I'm really interested to try out the Until Dawn.
Right.
The on rails. I guess it's like an on rails shooter type game.
Yeah.
I'd like to see. Yeah, I'd like to see what that's like. And then I really am interested to see what Rigs is like, because correct me if I'm wrong, but I actually think that's one of the games that actually uses the controller and the headset at the same time. That's
I don't know too much about it. I know it's like that mechanized combat league.
Yeah, it's like a kind of like a. The colors and the aesthetic of me reminded me of. God, I can't remember the name of it, but it was like Monday Night something.
Oh, it was on Monday Night Combat.
Monday Night Combat, yeah, on Xbox and PC. It reminded me of that, except you're like in robots, like Robot Jock or something. You're running around these stadiums like trying to score, like soccer or volleyball mixed together. I don't know, but with guns and missiles and stuff. So it looked fun.
I played this one particular game not on VR, and it was at Boston Fig, not this year, but last year. And it was a music game, and I really couldn't get into it, and the guy who was demoing the game smelled like a really bad Italian sub and sort of had an attitude, so I really didn't play the game that much and didn't see the hype behind it at all. But everybody seems to be flipping their lid over this game called Thumper. And actually, I think it was Ben Kuchera from Polygon did an interview with someone at Oculus. I want to say some VP at Oculus. And they said, what do you think of PlayStation VR? And if you could steal one game out of their portfolio and bring it over to Oculus, which game would it be? And he said it was this game Thumper. He said it really had what he called VR juice. And he said he hadn't had a 45-minute experience with VR like that in some time. And I'm not saying the game is 45 minutes long. That's how long he played it at PlayStation's office. He was really touting that one. So that's something maybe to keep on the back burner that I'm hearing a lot of people talking about.
Totally.
Personally, wasn't something that I was into, but if you want to look for something that people are talking about, that is one. And also, how about Rise of the Tomb Raider is VR compatible? Does that interest you at all?
Well, I watched the little tidbit on the VR, the VR section of the game, where it's basically like you go around the mission or the mansion exploring stuff, finding clues, of solving puzzles and things like that. And I mean, yeah, it would be neat to be immersed in there and see what it's like. What I'm really waiting for though is like the ones that grab me are like Resident Evil 7. I really want to have a VR experience where I can kind of move myself around, 360 degrees, control my character, and my head is on a swivel with the VR unit. So that's what I'm really looking forward to. That Tomb Raider game, it seemed really neat. Like I said, it's kind of limited to what they're doing with VR right now, where you kind of have the teleport feature where you kind of, point out a place on the screen and you hit a button and it teleports your character to that location, which I know a lot of the early stuff on the Vive and on the Oculus did. And I think a lot of games are still using that movement. I don't know if it's because it helps deal with the nausea better.
Right. Yes. Definitely.
If it's easier. But I'd like to have a game where I can actually, walk my character around. So that's why I'm kind of interested in that Riggs game. And then, of course, like I said, Resident Evil coming down the way, because I just couldn't believe they would have you play through Resident Evil just teleporting your character. I would think that it would be, you'd be moving around, exploring the world. So, I did see in that Tomb Raider demo where you can kind of bend over and look down under stuff and, kind of moved side to side and, and everything, and it registers that. So that's really cool. And, any of those experiences is going to be fresh, so they'll be really fresh and different. So it's exciting.
Definitely.
But I'm really looking for the real breakthrough, like the real, freedom of movement.
Sure. And you'll have to come back on and, Glove Box over at the 40cast him as well. I'm eager to hear both of your impressions, and I think maybe even Sean Zientane at the OMG Hour is picking it up this week too. Those are the only three people that I know of, and I know for you it's if you see it, you haven't pre-ordered it, but if you do pick it up, certainly come back on and tell us about it. I want to bring Sean back in here. Now this week, Sean, they announced at Oculus Connect 3 that they're trying a room-scale standalone VR headset. And the back of the Oculus has, I guess, some sort of mini computer on it. I'm not sure if you saw the image there on the Polygon article there, Sean, but since you are a PC guy only at this present moment, is this something here that excites you, that you can have no wires and you can buy this thing and walk around your room?
I was looking at this thing. The PC that I ordered is VR ready. So I just don't have the money right now to do any kind of VR because that's really way above my budget at the moment. But it makes me feel a little bit. Yeah, it definitely makes me feel a little bit better about it because isn't that all what we wanted anyway? Was wireless? Who wants to be hooked to a bunch of wires and cables and things and trying to walk around your room tripping over everything and. I don't have a lot of room as it is. So the one nice thing I noticed about this one is it gives you a blue border when you're in game, I guess, to let you know that you're near a wall or, an obstacle of sorts. Yeah. So I thought that was pretty neat.
So again, Ben Kuchera seems to be the VR guy over at Polygon. And he said he was able to try the device in somewhat of a secret room at Oculus. And he was a bit surprised to walk into a completely furnished room. The hardware itself is an early prototype. He wasn't allowed to touch it, but he was allowed to have it placed on his head. He says he was treated to two simple VR demos, a space station and a sort of mini city with cardboard cutout people running around. He said he could walk around and explore each scene without wires and with full depth tracking. He could bend down, look through a window, stretched up to look over a railing, and he said the tracking in the 3D space was perfect with no warbles or distortions. So, that'd be something I'll definitely be, keeping my eye on because what did I say at the top? That I didn't keep it because of the maintenance, having the wires permanently connected to my computer. If you're telling me now that all I need to do is take the headset off and store it somewhere, well, I do that for the umpteenth headsets I have in my house. So what's getting one more thing to put something on? That's not that big of a deal. So this could be something that could be, very much excite me down the road that I'll be interested in.
A side note on that, can you imagine in the next 10 to 15 years when you go to buy a house, like a new home, and they're like, and then on the second floor, here is your game/VR room.
Right.
Because eventually we're going to have homes that are going to have whole rooms dedicated to that. It's going to look like a motion capture room because they're going to have sensors in the corners and things like that for these headsets to pick up.
Even if it isn't a VR room, it's going to be VR/AR, right? You're going to need You're going to need space for all that type of stuff. Certainly not Kinect. There's going to be no Kinect rooms.
Nope.
That ship has sailed. All right, guys.
HoloLens now, right?
Yes, HoloLens. And did I see someone else launched VR this week? Google, or was it someone else? They had that sort of like it's sort of like Gear VR. I can't remember what it was. Was it Facebook?
It's Google. It's the one that looks like your denim jeans strapped to your face.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking about.
It's for the Google Pixel phone.
Pixel phone, yes, yep. All right, well, let's move into the community question of the week. The question this week was, do you have a specific video game comfort food, i.e. something that's old and familiar, and you play now and again to feel good? So maybe you've had a bad day, you just need to escape for a little bit, you pop this in, you don't really have to think about it, you just play and go. So let's read a few of the responses, and then we'll share our opinions. So these ones came from our Discord channel. If you guys want to join, hit us up and we'll send you invites. First is Kel18, Jamie, Jay's son. He says, Dark Souls for me. Dan from Dad's Getting Grounded says Mega Man 2. And oh damn, forgot Resogun. That's probably current comfort game. And RoboPig says comfort food games. On console, it's Resogun, and on PC, it's One Finger Death Punch. Have to admit, I'm not familiar with One Finger Death Punch, but I should look that up. Indio Techno says Galaga. I wonder if he's pulling our leg on that one, or if he's serious. And let's see, Devious Mr. Matt of the 40 Cast says baseball, and he's talking about MLB The Show on PlayStation, and Original Mario Brothers.
And Super Nando DX Alpha at GHammocks14. For me, it has to be Rogue Legacy. I'm on NG+, and the game kicks my ass all too often. Despite this, I still love it. Albert Aristano at Aries_0926. This is easy for me. BioShock 1, especially the very first level. I'll often hit up an old Mario game too. And then Denny, a beer guy, also at Loose Screw of Tap the Craft podcast. I can't talk tonight. For me, it has always been Diablo. From the first one to the second, and now the third, is still my comfort game.
All right. Well, I've got Jen M at Izzy Moxel of the Future Monkeys podcast. She says at Gamers in Beta, it's Super Metroid. Eerie time? Is that supposed to be every time?
Yes. Don't you know the kids these days, Nick?
Eerie time. The music, the style, the nostalgia, the feels. There's just nothing like it to cheer me up. And then I got Shownuff71 at Shownuff71 of Gamer Husbands Radio. He says, is that Earth Defense Force? Oh man, that is totally comfort gaming right there. Nothing like just running around killing giant bugs. Earth Defense Force 4.1. There's something therapeutic about killing giant bugs. There, he just repeated myself, blowing up skyscrapers in the process as well. So, and then good friend here, Chase Langdon at Awakened Heathen. He says that Left 4 Dead, such a great game, simple co-op game. I guess Discord isn't the best option.
Well, that's why you're going to segue into the next thing. So keep reading that.
Oh, guess Discord isn't the best option for what's QOTW?
Question of the week.
Oh, question of the week, since my answer got missed. Oh.
Yes. So I do apologize for that, Chase, but you weren't the only one that I missed last week. So I had a busy weekend, so I do apologize for that. So before we tell everybody our comfort food, let me just read some of the responses from last week. So last week the question was, if you could play a game with anybody, a multiplayer game, who would it be and why? So I'll read some of these. Albert Restano, again, says at Aries_0926, I'd play Lego Marvel Superheroes or any Marvel mashup game with the real Stan Lee. He doesn't need to play, just tell stories. And here you are, Chase, Awakened Heathen. I'd have to say it would be fun to play Far Cry 4 co-op with Samuel Jackson. And a close second would be playing Destiny with Joe. Just kidding, Joe. Also, I didn't get a chance to respond to last week. See, he's going 2 episodes back now. Look at Chase. He says Silent Hill 2 has a special place in my heart. And Sean, I can't even remember what the question was from 2 weeks ago.
And I can't remember either, to be honest with you. But all I know is there's motherfucking snakes in this motherfucking game. That's all I'm saying.
And Beardy McWhiskey at Beardy McWhiskey, and of course he's of the Future Monkeys podcast as well. He said, I would play with comedian Ron Funches. Dude is actually a gamer and super funny. He would hold his own and crack you up. The game would be Gears of War 4 because he got an early release, and I'm super, super excited to check it out. Well, Nick, I don't think you answered the question last week. So if you could play a multiplayer game with anyone, who would it be and why?
I would say if I could play a multiplayer game with anyone, it would probably be my wife.
Nice.
Because my wife is, she's not a huge gamer. And the few times that we have sat down and enjoyed games together, whether it's just her watching or playing along, has just been a really excellent time, and just brought us even closer as a couple. So
awesome! Did you play Until Dawn with her, or did she watch?
She watched Until Dawn. She really loves games like that. Over the years, there's been a lot of games she sat and watched me play, obviously. Because there's been a lot of games.
There's been a lot of games. They've been on your mind, I hear, too.
But, she really liked Until Dawn is that's right up her alley. Like, anything that is, like, Saw or horror, she loves those games. But, yeah, that one she liked a lot. And then her all-time favorite was when I played Shenmue back on the Sega Dreamcast. She loved that game. She'd watch me play that game all the time. So
that tells you how long the relationship has been going on for.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get into the question this week. Sean, what is your comfort food for gaming? I think I already know this because you put 1,800 hours into one game. But I feel just to be safe, I'm going to throw it out there, and just in case you have something different.
You know, it is actually something different, believe it or not. I actually, it's going to be, oh God, I'm going to go with this one. Minecraft. I played Minecraft as a just game I can go into and just play for like 20 minutes and I'm good and then I'm out. And for me, it's something I can go back to all the time. I mean, I've had it for 3 years now. So that's my big game right now. That and Farming Simulator, but we'll get into that another day.
My son just got the, Chinese mythology mashup pack for Minecraft this week. So he's all excited about that.
Cool.
Back to you, Nick. Is there a comfort food, something you'll pop into if you had a bad day at work or just want to relax?
It would have to be a tie. But I would say the two games would be Super Mario World from the Super Nintendo and probably Legend of Zelda 64. Ocarina of Time. Those games just are really special to me. Super Nintendo was a huge event. It was one of the times I can remember where I probably had myself and 10 of my friends crammed into my parents' little den at our house in Michigan. And we hooked up the Super Nintendo and we played Super Mario World and F-Zero, because those were the two games that I'd gotten when it came out. And I don't think we left that room for 24 hours. I mean, we were in there and we just played nonstop. We were blown away. We thought it was totally amazing. So I think it's more of a sentimental thing, just kind of that time to spend with my buddies from my youth doing that. So, and then Zelda's the same. That was Zelda was one of the very first Nintendo games I beat when I was very, very young. And then when it came out on 64, that was a huge deal. Zelda in 3D for the first time. So it was just amazing. I just remember, being super excited when that game came out and pretty much playing it nonstop for a couple days until I finished it.
I don't know if I have like a specific game that I would pop in. I have like a specific genre. I like the twin stick shooters where I can just go in and make things explode. What was it? Super Stardust Delta? I think that was on the PS Vita. I used to love that game. I'm not sure if it's Super Stardust Delta or Super Stardust HD. It's one of those titles. And I would play that for hours on the Vita and just like exploding the rocks and the planets and things like that. I really enjoyed that. I'd certainly say Broforce could be an answer as well. You don't really have to pay attention to the story that much, and you just go out and just cause mayhem, total destruction. Just sit back and watch stuff explode. And I'd say, a current title to stay up would either be something like, Alien Nation or maybe Rive. Again, just twin-stick shooters where I can just go and blast stuff and have a good time, sit back. If I die, oh well. I like the explosions and everything, so let's do it again. And if Jay was on, I have a feeling he would say Peggle. But since Corey...
I had a lot of buddies that played Peggle, like on PC and on console when it came to console nonstop.
Yeah, there was another game on my family. We used to play... I don't know why we have stopped, but we used to play Peggle 2 almost every night or Mario Kart every night. And the other one was on the PS3. Magic Orbs. You remember that one?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was like I think it was like a ball that you had to, I don't know if it was sort of like Pong a little bit. You couldn't let the ball go off the screen, right? You always had to have something moving at the bottom to keep it like bouncing around and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah. Yes. And my wife, it's similar. It's along the lines. My wife is any game on PC or phone where you have to match at least 3 of the same color items together. It doesn't matter what item it is or what the theme is, but if it's matching 3 of the same color of something together, my wife plays it.
Absolutely. My wife is playing, what is that game that was on? Not Doge. Ooh, I can't remember. 1010. Yeah,
1010, yeah. Okay.
Yep, she's playing 1010 religiously. So I mentioned Jay and Peggle, and they're not here this week, Jay and the other guys, but they have left audio clips for us. But since Corey isn't here, we can't play them live on the show, so I will edit them into the show. So you'll hear those now.
Hey, what's up, Gamers and Beta listeners? This is Corey Atwood. I'm sorry I couldn't be here today. If you can't tell, I am really hungover right now. It's first thing in the morning after a hard night of drinking at the Caribou Motor Inn in northern Maine. So, but either way, you don't want to hear my life story. You want to hear what my video game comfort food is. And as Jay knows, my video game comfort food is DuckTales on the NES. Not only have I been playing it for literally about 30 years, but I've memorized that game right down to the pixel. So every once in a while, I'll just pop it in, run through it. I can beat the whole thing in about 20 minutes. It's all muscle memory now, but it just makes me feel all squishy inside. So that's my comfort food. Peace.
Hey folks, Joe State here. My video game comfort food, as they call it, would be Earthbound. I go back to that game all the time. I usually play through it until I get to about like Threed or something, maybe a little bit further than that, and end up falling off. So I do keep going back to it over and over and over again. I mean, I've played all the way through it a few times at this point, but whatever. That's what it is. Side note, fuck Outlast 2. That game sucks. It should be just crazy people murdering people, not like supernatural people with long tongues pulling you into ceiling vents. That shit's stupid. Lame. Bye.
Hello, Gamers and Betas listeners. This is Jay, aka Maniac17. My favorite comfort food game, aka my relax game, is got to be Peggle. Second would be probably Angry Birds on my phone, and then also Luxor 2. I used to play the heck out of those, and I still occasionally do to relax. So, sorry I'm not on this week, but I'll catch you next week, and check out my pictures from up north, from camping. See you!
The question for next week is, if you could see one comic book turned into a video game, or the other way around, what would it be? We've already asked you a lot of questions so far tonight, Nick, so I won't put you on the spot there, but if you are so inclined, you can let us know during the week when we send that out.
I totally already have an answer for that. I can give it to you right now. Sure. Right now. So if I could see one comic book turned into a video game adaptation, it would be Dark Horse, The Preacher, which I know recently became a television show.
Yeah.
But I would love to see a comic book adaptation of that, a video game adaptation of that, whether it is an action adventure game or whether it's along the lines of something like one of the Telltale games.
Speaking of Telltale games, have you been playing the Batman one?
Oh, yeah.
and what do you think of that one?
That's a silly question, Mike. Come on now.
Well, sometimes you got to throw those softballs out there.
I'm a little taken back by some of the liberties that Telltale has taken with the characters in the franchise. I mean, it's kind of cool that they were allowed to do that. Not that I agree with a lot of them. In their normal fashion, it is very dark. It's really dark, like all the rest of the Telltale games. I'm enjoying it, of course. I mean, it's Batman. I mean, so it automatically comes in at about an 8 or a 9 for me right off the get-go, and then it has to try really hard to work its way down from that.
So I know obviously it's episodic, and you'll be playing it as it comes out. Can you see yourself going back to it then when it's all out and playing it through again?
Yeah, I've been trying to think of things that I'm going to do this year for Extra Life stream, and I haven't figured it out yet. So yeah, I'd like to go back. I mean, I still haven't played. I played like the first episode of Tales from the Borderland as well. And everybody's like, oh my God, Tales from the Borderland is so amazing. I can't believe you haven't played the rest. So I'm trying to think of things that I could go through and replay.
Any interest in the Arkham collection that's coming out?
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Now that has everything but Origins in it, right? It just has the Rocksteady games?
Yes, which is a shame because I will go on record telling you that Origins got a lot of shit for a lot of the bugs and stuff it had in it. But it has the story is actually very good in that game, and it has hands down the best boss battles of all the Batman games. That includes, the recent one with tank battles galore. So if you want to play the Batman game with the best boss fights, it is Arkham Origins.
Excellent. Well, let's get into what we've been playing. Sean, I see some new games on your list and some old familiar ones. So why don't you kick things off and let us know what you've been up to?
All right. Well, I've been playing some 7 Days to Die. I fired it up yesterday because there was a new patch that added a bunch of stuff into it, optimizations and some new quests and whatnot. And having fun with that. They did change a lot of some of the mechanics as far as what zombies you get. Like you used to be able to tell, like, on the 7th day you get this type, these types of zombies and everything else at night, but now you're getting them during the day. So it's interesting. I mean, I have my own server, so.
Of course, we wouldn't expect anything less, Sean.
but it's not that I'm bragging about that either. I just have it because it's easier that way to play with friends. I've been playing ARP, but we won't go into that because that's an every week thing, and pretty much that's pretty much.
Well, while
the
you
same.
mentioned that, I heard a little bit of your Rated Arc podcast, and there are a lot of hosts on that show, or co-host.
Yes, there is. Yes,
how many is at least 7 or 8, right? Yeah,
it can get pretty hectic at times, depending on. Well, we have 3 Xbox correspondents. Not all of them are always on, but I mean, it's pretty much it's about. I think it's 7 or 8. I don't get to talk a whole lot, but it's okay. I get to listen. There's a lot of things I've learned from those guys, and I've actually helped them set up their own RP server. So I was playing on that the other night on one of the things on one of the. On their Cross Realm Rebellion is the name of the gaming group, and they're a great bunch of people. I mean, they know their ARC stuff. They've been playing ARC for a long time, so it's nice. It's kind of refreshing. I can talk about ARC on their show and not have to worry about losing listeners or anything, because it can be boring to people that don't play it. So I get that. So it's been cool. They're good people, really good people. So
nice.
And they probably listen to us too, so
we got to say nice things about them.
That's correct. And I fired up the Outlast 2 demo. That I'm definitely going to get that game, even though it scares the shit out of me. I'm definitely gonna get it. I liked Outlast, the original Outlast, and this one is so far from what I've played is living up to its name and the scary factor of it. I noticed, Nick, you have that on yours too. What did you think? I mean,
I actually haven't played it yet. I have it downloaded.
Oh, okay.
And I haven't played it. It's actually what I was thinking about streaming it tonight after we finish up here. I haven't. I don't know how long the demo is, but everybody's been telling me it's excellent.
Well, all right, then might have to stay up a little bit later than I normally do tonight just to watch you stream some of that for sure. Because it's really creepy, but it's good. I like it. I'll definitely be picking that one up for sure.
Awesome.
And that's pretty much it for the week. I mean, I didn't realize, I forgot how big Doom was. I had to reinstall it because I have a new laptop, and then I'll be reinstalling it again tomorrow once I get my PC set up. But I didn't realize that was 54 gigs, so I wanted to play some of that today, but it was taking forever to download, so that's it. Pretty much it.
Yeah, you'll have to make some room for Gears too. That's 80 gigs on the PC.
Whoa.
Yeah, I got quite a bit of room, but I'm hopefully we picking up Jay's.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but Gears and Forza, those were like two of the first titles that when you purchase it, you get it on both, right?
Yeah, they were the second and third. The first one was Recore.
Oh, okay, Recore. Okay.
Yep. These are second and third. I hear nothing but positive things about Gears on the PC. People say it looks unbelievable.
Awesome.
So.
Yeah, I'm excited. So yeah, but I saw that too. That's 80 gigs, so it's all good.
I'll have to install it in both places and fire it up just to see how it looks. I've got the memory processor, but I don't know about my graphics card.
They have a very detailed PC guide Gears put out that I can tweet you or whatever, but they go into very in-depth about, if you got these types of settings. So they're very
send that over if you can.
They're very committed to the PC thing with this release. So
sweet.
And you guys are talking about the Outlast 2 demo, and I don't want to put Joe on the spot, but he said when he sends over his community question of the week that he also might talk about Outlast 2, where he had a very different opinion, that he didn't think it was all that in a bag of chips. So it's always good to have different opinions, and I look forward to hearing what Joe had to say. Nick, what have you been up to?
Like I said, I've been playing I've been playing nothing but horror games since the beginning of the month. I was playing a lot of Destiny prior to that just to try out the Rise of Iron expansion. And I kind of met a lot of new people in the Destiny community on Twitch, and I'd been playing a lot of that with those people. But once again, I'm just such a big gamer. I just can't stick to the same game like that for a lengthy amount of time. It's such a huge investment of time to try to keep up with the other people and do the grind of that game. So I've just kind of shuffled that off to the side, and I'll probably go back to it from time to time. But once the 1st of October hit, I decided I was going to try to play some scary games this month and try to play some stuff I hadn't played as well or hadn't finished. So I started off with, a game that I and my wife both really loved, which was Until Dawn. That was the first game I streamed and played through. It still has some parts in it that I'd forgotten about. Even a year later, I'd still forgotten about some of the jump scare parts. So there's a few parts where I almost fell out of my chair because I just, really just in your face kind of things popping up on screen right away. So that was excellent. And then I just started this past week doing Alien Isolation, which is a game that I've started about 3 or 4 times, and I've gotten to the same point, and then something else comes out that I'm more interested in, or I get bored, or the game, it's kind of like Outlast to me. I have never finished the original Outlast for the same reason. I get really paranoid. Like, the game makes you very paranoid and makes you very tense and nervous. And the same way with Alien, like, the game kind of makes me a nervous wreck when I'm playing it. But I've gotten much farther this time around, and I think that's because I'm streaming it with an audience and people are chatting with me at the same time I'm playing. So it's made it a much a more fun experience, I guess. And then, like I said, tonight, because I'm starting later, I might just I don't know how long the Outlast 2 demo is, but I might just try it to see how it is, because everybody, like I said, everything I've heard has been real positive. And the first one freaks me out, so it should be pretty amusing to watch me play the second one, because it'll probably scare the shit out of me.
Now, did you play any of that Resident Evil demo that they put out right around E3?
Multiple times, yes.
And now they've done something different to it, right?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
So,
First person, much more of the... I want to say it's more of kind of the more recent, like, indie survival horror type style, where it's first person, wandering around in kind of a dark, decrepit environment with like a flashlight or limited items, you know, kind of exploring it really, really thick, like dripping with atmosphere, right? And making the player feel like you're building towards something the whole time. You know, you're waiting for something to jump out, right? And then when it does, it kind of catches you off guard, you know, but you're on your edge of the seat the whole time. So, you know, and what I've heard in the full game, it'll still have weapons and things like that, but you have none of that in the demo. And the demo did an excellent job with making a very tense, frightening experience. So
now, there was even a recent update to it, though, right?
Oh, was there? No,
Yeah,
I have not played. I have not played since that update.
Either they released another one of it or they updated the existing one. There's something different about it that we covered on a last episode or two. So check out that one.
I'll need to check it out then. I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah. Well, how are you liking Alien Isolation? You feel like you're just running into lockers, or you feel like there's something tangible there?
I mean, I feel like it's a very tense game. The atmosphere is great. It's very suspenseful. I feel like the sections with the alien drag a bit. I'm playing it on normal, so apparently I heard if you play it on hard or survival, the alien is like ruthless. Like, I mean, you make a noise, it's there in your face and you're dead, you know? So, but normal's good enough for me. I don't think I'd want to play that game and make it any more intense than it already is.
So at some point, you play these games, you feel you play them because it's a challenge? Do you generally enjoy them, or do you like the feeling afterwards, like, hey, I sort of met my fears and conquered them, and now I can move on?
Yeah, I mean, I sometimes I like playing the horror games because of that. Like, you get that build up that real paranoid feeling, and then you have that scare, and it's just like going on amusement rides or going to see a scary movie. It's the same thing, kind of an adrenaline rush. So.
I've been watching speaking of that, I've been watching a fair amount of YouTube videos with that slingshot amusement park ride where all the people, they eventually on their way up, they pass out and they wake up. They wake up and they realize they're on the ride again and they pass out again. It's pretty hysterical. And usually the person next to them
do they pass out from fear, or do they pass out from like the G's?
I don't know what it is, because the video camera is just built into the ride. It's like a GoPro or something like that. But it's probably got to be a little bit of both the G's and the fear, like, adrenaline all clashing together, and they pass out. And usually the person next to them is like dying laughing and making fun of them, and they come back to, and then they pass right out. But there's one with these two. I'm not sure if they're like, stoners or what, but there's two of them, and they both pass out together. Yeah, I mean, this is hilarious. Some good stuff. So I've been playing a little bit different stuff than you guys have, mostly because I got two games that I need to get some quick look videos out and some previews. So I've been playing a game called Yesterday Origins. This is coming out sometime in, I think, late October, early November. It keeps getting pushed back. It's a point-and-click adventure game. It's coming to consoles and to the PC. Basically, you're this character named John Yesterday, and at some point you become immortal, and in the demo that I have, you're basically just in this dungeon, and the Spanish Inquisition has you captured. Your father has disowned you because they believe you are the son of Satan. And so you're in this dungeon, and it's it's got puzzle elements. You have to sort of trick the dungeon keeper, the person that's going to interrogate you and then torture you, to drinking basically some hallucinogens that you put into this cup for him. And then you have to do other various things to sort of escape the dungeon, and off you go. So I've only been playing the first two chapters of that. That's what's built into the demo. So I'll have a quick look on that this week. And then the other game I've been playing is called Ember. and that is a isometric RPG. If you think Baldur's Gate, not sure if you're ever into that, Sean, but it is a very much an RPG, but it's not something you can play with your controller or you play with your keyboard. It's all mouse driven.
Really? Okay. I was looking at this game, so I haven't had a chance to really do anything with it yet. Yeah,
I mean, it's I sort of get disinterested when it's keyboard and mouse, but it's just all mouse, so that's particularly nice for me. So yeah, I'm having fun with this, and I'll have a quick look up on this as well. But as far as the game itself, it is very much just a dungeon crawler at the moment. I'm battling giant spiders, looting corpses, collecting gold coins, picking up various different weapons and armor, and upgrading along the way. So
graphics look very nice. I mean, it looks clean.
It does, very clean. It runs, I think, when I was running it today, I was running at something like 121 frames per second. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to put this on my wish list.
Yeah, and I think it's relatively inexpensive too. I want to say maybe it's like $10.
It's exactly $10. Good guess. Good guess.
Yep. So I'll have a quick look up on that as well. So check out Ember and Yesterday Origins. Their quick looks will be up on the site early this week. Let's move into some of the news items, the notable releases of the week. Certainly, we've been talking about Gears of War 4. We talked about it last week, that you could play it as early as Friday if you bought the Ultimate Edition. For us guys that did not want to plunk down the extra bucks, we're going to play it Monday night or into the early morning hours of Tuesday.
I was so tempted because you could get it at Best Buy with your Gamer Club too for $79.
I didn't think about that, but I had other thoughts in my mind. I was really waiting for the sale of the Oculus to go through before I made any purchases. So that happened yesterday, and I was like, what's the point of buying the Ultimate Edition when it's going to be here in 2 days? I'm sure the Ultimate Edition would give you the Season's Pass as well, right?
Yeah, yes, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, I won't be able to play till Friday because that work is going to be crazy all week. But I'll look forward to it on Friday.
Yep, and Sean's going to be organizing some beers and gears streaming nights and community nights. So be on the lookout for that.
Yeah,
make sure you let me know because I would love to set it up where we're all streaming together.
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry, Nick. Nick, you're definitely in the. You were first in my mind when I was thinking about this.
And we already talked about Rise of the Tomb Raider 20-year celebration. That's, of course, coming to VR and coming to the PS4. Shadow Warrior 2 is coming to the PC. Eventually, it's coming to the consoles. If you got a PC, you want to pick this game up. It's 20% off right now. If you pre-order, it is a fucking brutal hack and slash game. AAA graphics, pretty humorous story. So that should be on your radar.
Procedurally generated gore.
I'm not sure if it's procedurally generated.
That's their tagline about it.
Oh, maybe. Those are the guys from Devolver. They might just be fucking around or goofing around. For you wrestling fans out there, WWE 2K17 is out, as well as Duke Nukem 3D 20th Anniversary World Tour, and then a crapload of PS VR games, some of which we have already mentioned.
So, and I just wanted to put out as a note, if you're interested, if I do end up picking it up, I am going to be streaming myself playing it. And I'll have somebody like in my Discord channel reading my chat to me. So that way I can respond to the chat while I have the headset on. So
you've moved over to Discord as well?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Discord is great, isn't it?
Discord is amazing. I don't know. I mean, using that on your PC, using that on your... I don't know if you tried the phone app. It is seamless. It's totally seamless.
Yeah. The Future Monkeys guys use Slack, and I'm just as impressed with that as I am with Discord. I don't know if if Slack has the voice piece built into it. That's what you would use Discord for like team instead of using Skype. Communication. But just from a chat aspect, I'm very impressed with Slack as well. All right, let's get into some of the news items here. Mafia 3, it was released this week. I don't think any of us have it at the moment, but that could change any day. And part of the reason I don't have it is because I was toying with the idea of getting it on PC, and then I heard there was some frame rate issues. But since then, the fine people at Hangar 13, have released a patch, and now the game can be run at either 30 or 60 frames per second, or you can opt out of frame rate locks altogether and choose whatever option suits your PC. So I'm hearing good things about this update from some people, and they say it looks great. I even hear from some of my friends who are playing it on consoles that it looks amazing as well. I hope to be picking this up soon because I've been watching and following this one for some time. Moving on, there is also a new patch for the BioShock remasters. So at launch, they said that the graphics were just slightly better. And I guess now they've put out a patch that makes them a little bit better than slightly better. Have you played these at all, Nick? The remasters?
I played the originals, but I have not played the remasters. So is the patch for all for all console and PC?
I think it's just PC.
Because I thought
Yeah, just PC for BioShock 1 and 2 on PC.
Oh, okay.
So the update is live for both games. It fixes issues that are occurring with assigning actions to mouse buttons 4 and 5.
Oh, okay.
Additionally, the mouse's icon size is now adjustable. Both games now support 21 by 9 resolutions, while the UI has 2 different modes. When you go into set display, stretch and centered, and you can now also adjust the field of view from 75 to 130. And they've made some improvements with just the mouse acceleration and things like that.
All right, so they're improving the PC ones even better than the originals, but the console ones pretty much run as the PC versions did, 1080 at 60 frames. So,
right.
I don't know. I mean, I don't play with a mouse anyway. I play with a controller. So there are some games I just can't play with a mouse and keyboard. So I just look my controller up, and I think it looks fantastic. But I thought it looked fantastic before. The older version. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's a very pretty game. I really wish they would come out with something else, maybe was it a prequel? You know, go back to when they were building it up and everything else. I know they did some stuff in Infinite, but I mean, like a full-on game, like, you know, when it was actually people weren't running around with their faces melting off and cackling madly.
Someone out there, Sean, we don't know who, but someone out there is making a BioShock game. That much I can tell you. Yeah. It's not Irrational. It's probably not 2K Marin because I don't think they're around anymore. But I guarantee there's probably some studio out there right now making a BioShock game.
Cool.
Some other changes that were made, new graphic options for lower-end machines, and they resolved several graphical issues on NVIDIA hardware. So if you've been playing those and you didn't think they looked great, go get the patch and try them again. See what happens. For Honor. Nick, is this something that you played, the closed alpha?
Yes, I did.
And what did you think of it?
I loved it.
I loved it too.
Awesome game. It actually reminded me of a very old original PlayStation PSX game called Bushido Blade.
Yes, we talked about that. Yep.
Yeah, so loved it. I love the combat. It's very methodical. Really enjoyed it.
So Ubisoft has confirmed that they have decided to take out the split screen play from its online mode. So the feature has been dropped from the game entirely. I guess they took it out basically to add polish in other places.
I'm sure that had to do with frame rate issue.
Yeah, so what the quote is, it was a feature that we loved, but when we looked at what needs to be done to support online co-op, for us it was critical to make a decision now so we can polish all the features at the AAA level and make sure that we have the most amazing experience.
I think last show I said that I wouldn't be picking this up. I think I'm going to be picking this. I mean, when this comes out for real, I'm definitely going to be picking this up.
I can't tell you much about the single player portion.
Right.
You know, what that's going to be like, Sean, but I'll tell you the online, the combat, I didn't get in a lot of the 4v4. I got a lot of, one-on-one matches, but it's a blast. It's an awesome game.
And didn't you think it was super polished already?
Oh yeah.
Between now and Valentine's Day, it's going to.
Yeah, the way it handled visually, It was really well done. So I think, totally skipping out on split screen, they just want to keep the frame rate steady and keep the polish as high as they can.
Yep. Titanfall 2, again, seems to definitely be falling under the radar. But they released some news this week that you will receive the free Angel City DLC map in December. So for people that played Titanfall 1, this is one of the more, favorited maps that you could say. So a fully remastered Angel City map, which is near and dear to many of us here at Respawn and has proven to be a fan favorite since players first got their hands on it in the original Titanfall. We can't wait to see how the community uses all the exciting new pilot and Titan gameplay mechanics we're bringing to Titanfall 2 on Angel City. Now, if someone put a gun to my head, Nick, and said, "Do you remember the Angel City map?" I would say no.
No, yeah.
But I do remember a lot of the maps. I mean, I like Titanfall. But I would not be able to tell you which one was Angel City. Was that the one in the sort of Asian area?
Yeah, I think Angel City was like kind of the original map that they used in the original Titanfall beta or demo.
Right.
It was just kind of like the standard map that you saw whenever you saw the game and like a commercial and things like that. It was the main, probably maybe their most balanced map. I don't know. They liked it the best.
Now, where do you stand with Titanfall 2?
I liked it. I played the beta in that as well. It's fun. I still cannot understand why all these companies release all their shooters at the same time. It drives me frigging nuts every year. I got Battlefield, Titanfall, and Call of Duty within a week of each other. It's like shooter overload, right?
Right, and Gears.
Gears, yeah. Well, Gears to me is more of like a third-person shooter adventure game, so I can
still attracts the same audience, though.
Yeah, I can kind of put that in a little category of its own, but I mean, just it's going to be like shooter overload come the end of October, beginning of November. So, is
there any that you're considering not picking up?
I really visually, I was impressed with Battlefield 1, but it seems like they took away some things from it, especially with the other classes, like the vehicles repair themselves. The medics didn't seem to have as many on-screen prompts to help people. Some of the stuff seemed a little bit tooled back more for like a casual audience, and which is fine. But I don't know. I really didn't like that there wasn't really an engineer anymore. There wasn't anybody who really focused on the vehicles, on repairing and damaging vehicles. It was mostly just damage. Like everybody was damaged. I also really hated the map they used because it was like sniper heaven.
Star Wars Battlefront just expanded.
Yeah, it's like you couldn't do anything. It's like every time you stepped out somewhere, somebody already had a sniper scope on your head. It drove me nuts. I did find a little bit more enjoying playing it on Rush, where it shrunk the maps down. So
I'm not a big Battlefield guy when it comes to multiplayer. I do like their stories a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that it has a good World War I story.
Right.
I think they released a teaser trailer maybe a few weeks ago that seemed all right, but it seemed like a lot of it was just cutscenes and, stuff like that was not actual in-game play.
And people ask me the same question about Call of Duty, like why I still buy Call of Duty. And I mean, I don't really focus on the single or on the multiplayer. I really buy Call of Duty to play the single player because I still feel like it's a pretty polished, straightforward experience that still has some really cool moments that happen during the course of the game that make you go, oh, wow, that was pretty awesome. So, that's hopefully Battlefield will be the same.
I'm looking forward to certainly Call of Duty. I want to see what going to space. We've sent pigs to space. Now we're sending Call of Duty to space. So I am looking forward to that. Next bit of news here was the Outlast 2 demo, which we've already talked about, so we won't need to go in depth on that. But we look forward to watching Nick play that in a little bit. So check that out. I'm sure you archive your things, right?
No, I actually don't right now.
You don't? Okay.
Yeah, I'm waiting until I still get a little bit bigger before I archive. I don't know. I probably will start soon because I'm just gonna. I don't know if you guys have done this yet, but if you haven't, at TwitchCon last week, they announced Twitch Prime,
Yes,
where you can link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, and you get a bunch of special features on Twitch, like commercial free. It basically gives you a Twitch Turbo account, which is you don't have to watch commercials, and it also allows you to sub to one partnered Twitch streamer for free a month, which is normally like $5 a month, but you get it included with your Amazon Prime monthly payment.
And is there someone that maybe you are want to plug out there that they should subscribe to?
Oh, no. I mean, whoever, there's a lot of great streamers out there. So it just really depends on whether you like a variety streamer or you want a particular person that streams one game and one game only. There's a lot of good people out there. If I had to pick somebody to plug, I'd say definitely, if you never watched Dan from Dan's Gaming, he's been around before Twitch was even Twitch. It's when it was Justin TV. Yep. He's been around with him and Man vs. Game. They're two excellent streamers. They're a little bit older guys, so they're not as their chats are a little bit more mellow, I would say. They're excellent. They're a lot of fun. Those two guys, or if you've never watched Witwix, there's a really funny streamer out there, Witwix. He mostly streams Mario Maker and a couple other games, but he's a really cool guy. He's one of the only streamers that I've ever seen, no matter how much people get on his case and chat or anything like that. He always is in a good mood. So
awesome. And the last bit of news here that we will cover is a new sound for rare Xbox achievements.
Did you hear this sound? It sounds almost like the other sound, only it's a little higher. Did you listen to it?
I have not listened to it yet.
I thought it was funny.
So it is just sort of like in a different octave or something like that?
Yeah, it's got a little bit of a different, but it's not that much different from the original one. But yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, that's all right. I rarely get rare achievements, so it is not a big ticket item for me, and it's been a long time since I've cared about achievements or trophies. So, but I know there are a lot of people that still hold the trophy and achievement hunting near and dear to their hearts. So, good for them if they got this. If it's now even more incentive to go out and hunt these things down. Do you care about these anymore, Nick?
No, I think that fad's kind of worn out. I was even going to say a rare achievement would be the sound of my Xbox turning on.
Oh, Jay, did you hear that, Jay?
We've tried, I've tried to turn a new leaf. There was one guy that got really vocal at me and unfollowed and everything. And since then, I've tried to be a little bit more straight now, not be a different person, but I've just tried to cover both of the angles. And I think, Sean, we covered that well when we talked about the flaws with some of the PS4 moves, especially around mods and things like that. But I can't argue with that. I have I have an Xbox Slim, the new S that's in my office, and it doesn't get used a lot.
Yeah.
I'm just, I certainly have Forza Horizon 3, which I need to play on there, and it will certainly get used with this, this week Gears comes out, right? So.
Yeah. Gears is the one I've been waiting on. It's just, I'm just been waiting for the games that I can only play there, and I mean, I know now a lot of them are going to be PC and Xbox, but before that announcement was made, it was like, oh, Rise of the Tomb Raider, Xbox One first exclusive. Okay, cool. I'm going to play that on Xbox. Oh, Gears of War 4, Xbox. Okay, I'm going to play that on my Xbox, So,
I'm at a point now where, because of the non-external hard drive, that I'm at the point, when I think about purchasing Mafia 3, all right, am I getting it on PC because I got, the 1070 card now, or do I get it on consoles, and which one? Well, geez, I'm going to have to shuffle things around on my PlayStation to make room for it, but I got the Xbox One S here, which I just bought, and I got an external that will fit it no problem. Those are the type of things that I'm at now. And plus, of course, the Xbox One S has the HDR and stuff like that built into it, so there's going to be any sort of up-res with the Mafia 3. So those are all the things now with the iterative consoles that go through my mind. Mm-hmm. We didn't have you on around the PlayStation 4 Pro announcement. Just quickly before we end, where did you stand with that? Is that something that's on your radar, especially with the PlayStation VR, where you're going to get a performance boost?
Yeah. I mean, yes. Like I said, I'm a tech guy, and
right.
especially when it comes to the gaming consoles. PC, if I was a tech guy on PC, I would constantly be shelling out cash. I mean,
exactly.
The thing with the Pro is I may get one just out of convenience because my son's getting to the point where he's playing on my PlayStation 4 a lot.
Right.
So we may have to move one to his room, and then I may just put a Pro in my studio. But things like the HDR and stuff, it's like the S has that, but then they updated the original PlayStation 4 to have that with a patch.
Right.
So,
Yeah, I mean,
I have to see the difference in front of me with my own eyes, really to know.
Well, I mean, we covered it pretty much in depth on that episode. It's got a better GPU, better CPU, so it's going to look better and run faster. Those are, I guess, as vanilla as description as you can get. Now, is it something that's going to be so discernible that you need to go out and buy it and have it? I don't know. But as I said on the show, and just as you said, you're a tech guy, I don't go out and spend the money on a new boat or a new car or a new motorcycle. I spend it on new consoles. So I am definitely trading in one of my PS4s to upgrade to the PS4 Pro, and I'll enjoy that for the year. And then when that newness wears off, there'll be the Scorpio.
Right. Yep.
And then we'll go from there.
I think the biggest thing for me, which would totally be, take my money, shut up and take my money, would be if I found out, for 100% sure that on games on the Pro, there's going to be an option where I can say, run this game at 4K at 30 frames a second, or run this game at 1080p at 60 frames a second. If they allow that kind of customization on the Pro, then it's an absolute purchase for me.
No, doesn't sound like that's an option as it stands right now.
Right.
I think the way they set it at the thing, it would detect what type of TV or monitor you have, and then it would serve you up what's best or recommended for your TV.
Right. I'm just hoping. I hope that means, with the Pro, that we're going to get, like, for instance, if I'm hooking up to a 1080p television, I'm hoping that means 60 frames locked for the majority of games if it's running at 1080p. Because the PlayStation 4 is already a pretty powerful piece of equipment, and now you're making it better. You're really running out of reasons to not have games run at 60 frames.
Yeah. It is a good debate. You can go back and forth of what's better, what's gonna, I'm getting to the point now. I'm not sure if you're older or younger than me than Nick. Can I even tell anymore? Get to the point. Am I just shelling out money because it makes me feel better that I have the latest and greatest? But at the end of the day, am I really going to be able to tell the difference?
Right.
Well, that's all I had tonight, guys. So I thank you again for appearing on the show and making this a great podcast, episode 172. Let's wrap this up with some plugs. Nick, since you are the guest, why don't you go first? Give us any sort of plugs you want, but of course, let everybody know where you are nightly on Twitch.
Okay. Well, my name's Nick K. I stream on Twitch pretty much every night of the week, Monday through Friday, from 8 p.m. to midnight Central Time. You can find me at twitch.tv/LuckyStiff with an underscore at the end. So it's LuckyStiff_. I'm a variety streamer, so I stream pretty much all types of games, PC, Xbox, PlayStation, all the good stuff. And right now I am doing a horror month, which is, the thing to do during October on Twitch. And I am currently streaming Alien Isolation, and I have Outlast, and I think I'm going to be doing like Amnesia and maybe some other ones. I'm going to try to find some ones that I've never played. So
excellent. Any other plugs that you need to get out there, or is that it?
No, that's it.
All right. Sean, how about yourself?
I'm going to shout out the Rated Arc podcast. They're a great group of people, and if you like Arc, you should listen to it. Give you a lot of good good information about ARK and how to play it, and also the Cross Realm Rebellion is where they can be found at CRR Gaming Group on Twitter. I'd also like to, as we mentioned earlier in the podcast, Beers and Gears was coming soon. We're going to be setting up some nights, so just keep a lookout for that on Twitter and Discord if you're in a Discord channel. And please, if you'd like to be on the Discord channel, we go through a lot of stuff on there. Please let us know, and we'll send you the link.
Yes, exactly. Let's see. Well, I want to thank you two guys again because the debates are going on tonight, and the nastiness, the shit hitting the fan is at a fever pitch. So I thank you for the distraction that I don't have to pay attention to that. So that's first and foremost. Secondly, I want to thank Corey, Joe, and Jay for all the work they've done, and they got a well-deserved week off. Shout out to those guys. Looking forward to having them back on in coming weeks. Joe has put together a new T-shirt design, sort of an old-school eagle, if you think of like Sailor Jerry artwork, that we're going to be rolling out on the represent.com website. So look for a new T-shirt idea. And other than that, just all the other independent podcasts that are doing their things. Thank you for all the stuff you do. I know there's new episodes this week from Dad's Getting Grounded, and there's new episode this week from the 40 Cast as well. So go check out those fine podcasts. And, of course, make sure you tune in nightly to Nick on Twitch, LuckyStiffLive, correct?
Yes, yep.
All right. Well, that's episode 172. Sean, why don't you play the role of Jay once again?
Until next time, same beta time, same beta channel. See ya!
I could be a soldier, go out there and fight to save this land. Be a people soldier, paramilitary gun in hand. I won't be a soldier, I won't take no orders from no one. Stop their fucking armies, killing isn't my idea of fun. And they wanna waste my life, they wanna waste my time, they wanna waste my life, and they've stolen it away. I could be a hero, live and die for their important cause. A united nation or an independent state with laws and rules and regulations that really cause disturbances and wars. And that's what I have got now, all thanks to the freedom-seeking hordes. And they wanna waste my life, they wanna waste my time, they wanna waste my life, and they've stolen it away. I'm not gonna be taken in. They said if I don't join I just can't win. I've heard that story many times before, and every time I've thrown it out the door.
And it's not a huge, like, super powerful one, but it'll get me through what I need to do.